I think it's like the best quality that that generation had. And we have lost that quality.
The untold story of Salman Khan's children, the legacy he never had in the glittering world of Bollywood, where dynasties rise and fall like monsoon rains. One story remains unwritten, a story so profound, so heartbreaking, that it challenges everything we think we know about success, love, and legacy. This is the untold story of Salman Khan's children, the children he never had, the legacy that exists only in dreams, and the empire built on everything except the one thing he spoke about often. Picture this: you're standing at the pinnacle of stardom. Your name alone can guarantee a film's success. You command wealth that most can only imagine. Millions call you Bhaijan with genuine affection. You've built charitable foundations that transform lives. You are, by every measure, a king. Yet, in the quiet moments between the applause and the camera clicks, you're haunted by the sound you've never heard. The sound of your own child calling you Papa. Salman Khan has spent over 3 decades conquering hearts, breaking box office records, and building an entertainment empire worth thousands of crores. But the most important title he ever wanted remains forever out of reach: father. In his late 50s, Bollywood's eternal bachelor faces a reality that no amount of fame or fortune can change. The legacy he never had, the children who will never carry his name. This isn't just another celebrity story. This is a modern tragedy wrapped in silk shirts and designer stubble. A tale of a man who gave everything to the world but couldn't give himself the one thing that mattered most. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the most private corners of a very public life. The paradox begins with a simple truth. Salman Khan adores children, not in the distant celebrity charity way, but with the raw, genuine love of a man born to be a father. When asked about adoption rumors, Salman suggested that children might still be part of his future, though his words carried hesitation rather than certainty. The pain in those words is unmistakable. Here's a man who has everything money can buy, yet the one thing he truly desires dances just beyond his grasp. But this story doesn't begin with Salman. It begins decades earlier, in a household where dreams were currency and talent was inheritance. The Khan family saga started with Salman Khan, a man who revolutionized Indian cinema as part of the legendary Salim-Javed duo. These 2 writers didn't just create films, they created the very DNA of modern Bollywood. Sholay, Diwar, Dawn, names that still send shivers down the spines of cinema lovers worldwide. Salim Khan was the architect of the angry young man persona that launched Amitabh Bachchan into the stratosphere. He pioneered the masala film format, the Bollywood blockbuster as we know it today. Before Salim Khan, the family had no connection to cinema whatsoever. His father served in the British Army. His grandfather was a respected officer in Indore. The Khan lineage traces back to Afghanistan, carrying Pathan blood and warrior traditions. But Salim Khan chose a different battlefield. The silver screen became his kingdom, and words became his weapons. When he married Salma, he was already dreaming of a dynasty. 4 children would carry the Khan legacy forward: Salman, Arbaz, Sohail, and Elvira, each destined for greatness, each carrying a piece of their father's revolutionary spirit. Then came an event that would reshape the family forever. In 1981, Salim Khan married actress Helen Richardson, creating one of Bollywood's most progressive family structures. But the real transformation happened years later when they adopted Arpita, the daughter of a homeless woman who had died on a Mumbai footpath. This act of compassion would define the Khan family philosophy. Love knows no boundaries. Family is what you make it. Growing up in this environment, Salman was surrounded by love, creativity, and an unshakable belief in the power of cinema to change lives.
They're working, they're all settled. I don't know if they watch movies anymore. So that was a really scary tour for me.
The Khan household wasn't just a home. It was a creative laboratory where stories were born and legends were forged. Every dinner conversation was a masterclass in storytelling. Every family gathering was a celebration of the arts. But with great legacy comes great pressure. The expectations placed on Salman's shoulders were enormous. He wasn't just Salman Khan's son. He was the torchbearer of a revolution, the inheritor of a dream that had already changed Indian cinema forever. The weight of that responsibility would shape every decision he made, including the ones about love and family. When Salman entered Bollywood in the late 1980s, he wasn't just another star kid trying to make it. He was the prince of a cinematic dynasty, carrying the hopes and dreams of a family that had already conquered the impossible. His debut in Biwi Ho to Aisi might have been forgettable, but his breakthrough in Maine, Pyar Kiya, announced the arrival of a phenomenon. Overnight, India had a new heartthrob. But success in Bollywood is a double-edged sword. The spotlight that makes you a star can also destroy the very things you hold dear. Relationships become public property. Privacy becomes a luxury you can't afford. Love becomes complicated by fame, fortune, and the constant scrutiny of millions. The Khan family wealth today is worth several thousand crores, making them the richest family in the film industry. Salman himself controls 50% of the family's registered property, with a personal net worth that insiders whisper could be among the wealthiest families in Indian cinema. The numbers are mind-boggling, the influence immeasurable, the power absolute. Yet all this wealth, all this influence, all this power couldn't buy him the one thing a life he openly wondered about. A wife, children, a legacy written in blood rather than box office receipts. The irony is devastating. A man who built an empire dedicated to love stories has never been able to write his own happy ending. The evidence of his paternal instincts is everywhere if you know where to look. His charitable foundation, Being Human, focuses primarily on underprivileged children and girls' education, with a strong emphasis on children, education, and healthcare. His sister Arpita serves as its CEO, ensuring that the family's commitment to children remains central to their mission. He has poured millions into helping other people's children while his own arms remain empty. At family gatherings, something magical happens. 7 young voices fill the air with laughter and chaos. Arhan, Nirvan, Johan, Alize, Ayan, Ahil, and Ayat. The children of his siblings, the next generation of Khans. They call him Mamu, and in their eyes he sees glimpses of what could have been. These children have become the recipients of all the paternal love that Salman would have given to his own offspring. The relationship he shares with these 7 souls is both beautiful and heartbreaking. He spoils them like a father would. He protects them like a father should. He loves them with the fierce intensity of a man who knows this is as close to fatherhood as he may ever get. They represent his greatest joy and his deepest regret, wrapped up in innocent smiles and unconditional love. The tragedy deepens when you realize that Salman has already prepared for the children he hopes to have someday. There's a whole village, a district, my family, he once explained. The women in my family are there to take care of the children. Alize has grown up, Ayan has grown up, now we have Ayat. By the time I have kids, Ayat will be able to take care of them. The optimism in those words is crushing. A man in his late 50s still believing that someday, somehow, he'll get his chance at fatherhood. If you're captivated by this untold story of love, loss, and unfulfilled dreams, hit that like button and let us know in the comments what you think about Salman Khan's journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Things That Make You Go for more deep dives into the hidden stories of your favorite celebrities. The calendar pages turn relentlessly, marking decades of missed opportunities and roads not taken. Each year that passes brings new achievements, new milestones, new records shattered. But it also brings the growing weight of what might have been, the relationships that could have changed everything, read like a catalog of almost moments. each one a potential turning point where the king of Bollywood could have finally claimed his most desired crown: fatherhood. The first chapter in this romantic tragedy began in the late 1980s with Sangeeta Bijlani. She wasn't just another actress crossing paths with a rising star. She was the woman who almost became Mrs. Salman Khan. Their relationship was serious enough that wedding invitations were printed, dates were set, and families were preparing for what would have been one of Bollywood's grandest celebrations. March 27, 1994, was supposed to be the day that changed everything. Picture the scene: the Khan family compound buzzing with preparation. Salman, perhaps for the first time in his life, genuinely ready to settle down. The man who had always been commitment shy suddenly saw a future filled with domestic bliss and tiny footsteps echoing through the halls of his home. But fate had other plans.
This generation has lived the cleanest life possible, professionally and personally.
The marriage was called off under mysterious circumstances, with whispers of infidelity and broken trust swirling around the cancellation. The pain of that lost opportunity runs deeper than any public embarrassment or media scrutiny. Sangeeta represented more than just a bride. She represented the possibility of the family Salman had always dreamed of. The children who would have called him Papa. The legacy that would have been written in cradle songs instead of box office collections. But the most devastating chapter was yet to come. Enter Aishwarya Rai, the woman who would become both his greatest love and his most profound regret. Their relationship from 1999 to 2002 was more than just a celebrity romance. It was a collision of two superstars at the height of their powers, a love story that captivated an entire nation. For 3 years, India watched as their golden boy courted their reigning queen. Aishwarya wasn't just beautiful. She was accomplished, intelligent, and strong enough to stand beside a man of Salman's stature without being overshadowed. In her, he saw not just a partner but a co-conspirator in creating the perfect Bollywood family. Their children would have been genetically blessed, inheriting the best of both parents. The Khan Rai dynasty could have ruled Bollywood for generations. But love, especially love lived under the harsh glare of public scrutiny, can become a destructive force. The very intensity that made their relationship magical also made it volatile. The intensity that once bonded them eventually became a source of conflict, leading Aishwarya to walk away. When Aishwarya walked away in 2002, she took with her not just her own future, but the future children who existed only in Salman's imagination. The aftermath was brutal. Public accusations flew like arrows in a battlefield. Aishwarya spoke of harassment, of a man unable to accept that their story was over. But behind the headlines and the court cases was a simpler truth. A man who had lost not just his love but his last best hope for the family he desperately wanted. The children who might have been born from that union remain forever in the realm of what if. Years later came Katrina Kaif, the foreign beauty who captured not just Salman's heart, but the heart of an entire industry. For 7 years, from 2005 to 2012, they were Bollywood's golden couple. Their on-screen chemistry was electric. Their off-screen relationship the subject of endless fascination. Katrina brought a different energy to Salman's life, a lightness that seemed to promise new possibilities. With Katrina, Salman appeared more settled, more content than he had in years. She learned Hindi for him, embraced Indian culture with genuine enthusiasm, and seemed to understand the complex dynamics of being with a man who belonged as much to his public as to himself. For a brief, shining moment, it seemed like the stars might finally align for Salman Khan. But even this relationship, built on mutual respect and undeniable chemistry, couldn't overcome the fundamental challenges that had plagued all of Salman's romantic endeavors.
Leave aside this award, I never thought that I would ever be in a position like this today.
The pressures of stardom, the constant media attention, And perhaps, most importantly, Salman's own internal struggles with commitment created fractures that eventually became irreparable breaks. Each failed relationship represents more than just personal heartbreak. Each one represents a classroom full of children who will never exist, birthday parties that will never be thrown, school plays where Salman will never sit in the audience, beaming with pride as his son or daughter takes center stage, graduations where he'll never wipe away tears of joy, weddings where he'll never walk his daughter down the aisle or embrace his son-in-law with the wisdom of experience. The cruel irony is that Salman has all the qualities that would make him an extraordinary father. His nephews and nieces adore him not just because of his fame or wealth, but because of his genuine warmth, his playful spirit, and his protective instincts. He remembers their birthdays, attends their school functions when possible, and spoils them with the kind of love that comes naturally to those born to nurture. When asked about his single status in interviews, Salman's responses reveal the depth of his confusion and pain. "There must be some fault in me," he has admitted, "when God Almighty wills so. Two individuals are needed for marriage. In the first case, the marriage did not happen. When I said yes, somebody said no. The resignation in those words is heartbreaking. A man who has conquered every challenge life has thrown at him, defeated by the simple human desire for companionship and progeny. India's adoption laws make the process especially complex for single men, a reality Salman has acknowledged in interviews. The children he wanted to rescue and raise as his own remain beyond his reach, trapped behind bureaucratic red tape and societal expectations. Today, as he approaches 60, Salman Khan exists in a strange temporal space. Too old to be the young romantic hero who could believably win any heroine's heart, yet too young to give up on the dream of fatherhood entirely. Modern medicine and changing social norms mean that his story isn't necessarily over, but the window of opportunity grows smaller with each passing year. The third generation of Khans is already making their mark. Alizé has stepped into Bollywood, winning a Filmfare Award for Best Female Debut, proving that the family's artistic genes remain strong. But she carries the Agnihotri name, not Khan. The direct Salman Khan bloodline, the one that would have combined his charisma with his partner's grace, remains an unfulfilled promise. So, what do you think about this untold story of Bollywood's biggest superstar? Have you ever wondered what kind of father Salman Khan might have been? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if this deep dive into the human side of stardom moved you. Subscribe to Things That Make You Go for more stories that reveal the heart behind the headlines, because sometimes the most fascinating tales are the ones that never got written.
I think it's like the bravest thing for anyone to write their own autobiography.
In the end, Salman Khan's story forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth about modern life. Success, wealth, and fame are not guarantees of personal fulfillment. Here stands a man who has everything our society teaches us to want, yet lacks the one thing that would make him truly complete. His empire spans continents, his influence shapes generations, but his legacy remains incomplete without the sound of little feet running through the halls of his mansion. Perhaps that's what makes this story so compelling, so heartbreaking, and ultimately so human. Behind the larger-than-life persona, beyond the box office numbers and the charitable foundations, lives a man with the same fundamental desires that drive us all. The need to nurture, to guide, to leave behind something more meaningful than mere professional achievements. The children he never had exist in parallel universes, in dreams deferred, in the loving glances he shares with his nephews and nieces. They live in the scholarship programs he funds, the orphanages he supports, and the countless young lives he touches through being human. Maybe that's his true legacy after all. Not the bloodline that carries his name, but the countless children whose futures he has brightened simply by caring. The king of Bollywood may never hear anyone call him Papa, but millions already call him Hero. And sometimes in a world desperate for kindness, that has to be enough.